Along with Godzilla and those giant ants from them, is also the 70th anniversary of Jack Arnold's classic 1950s monster movie, The Creature from the Black Lagoon. So to honour this, we're going to have a deep dive into its depths and celebrate a thrilling milestone of a cinema classic that transcends the bug-eyed monster era of the 1950s to become one of the most endearing and captivating monsters of all time. Creature from the Black Lagoon follows a group of scientists who, while exploring the Amazon, discover a prehistoric amphibious creature known as the Gillman. The scientists, led by a Dr. Carl Meyer, becomes fascinated by the creature after finding a fossilised hand, prompting an expedition to study it further. However, as they enter the creature's lagoon, the Gillman becomes both fascinated and territorial, and becomes particularly fixated on one of the team members, Kay Lawrence, played by Julie Adams. As the crew attempts to study or capture the creature, it defends its territory fiercely, leading to a series of suspenseful and dangerous encounters. My name is Craig and welcome to Wookie Video Presents, the channel that adores classic horror, science fiction and fantasy. So grab your flippers and let's dive into the depths of the Black Lagoon as I share 5 reasons why this film is just a cinematic masterpiece that needs to be celebrated for its 70th birthday. And of course I will share some amazing facts that you may not already know about it. So stay right there and I'll be back. Number 5. Jack Arnold's visionary direction. So Jack Arnold, known for his skill with science fiction and monster movies such as It Came From Outer Space, Tarantula and The Incredible Shrinking Man, brought a cinematic flair and attention to detail to Creature from the Black Lagoon that elevated it from a typical B-movie of the era to an iconic and suspenseful masterpiece. No! Arnold's ability to use the Amazon setting, create tension and handle some really revolutionary 3D cinematography with precision made the underwater sequences legendary. His pacing builds suspense beautifully, while his empathetic touch turns the creature into a tragic figure rather than just a monster. Jack Arnold sadly passed away in 1982 but left us with a rich, timeless legacy of his amazing work from the 1950s. Thank you so much, Jack, for these amazing gifts. Number 4. To be 3D or not to be 3D. Though initially released in 3D in 1954, Creature from the Black Lagoon works just as brilliantly in 2D, which is a testament to Arnold's direction and the strength of his visuals. Unlike many films of its time which used 3D for gimmicky effects, Creature used depth to add atmosphere and immersion, particularly in those underwater scenes. Now, even without 3D, the film's suspenseful composition, the lighting, those dramatic angles draw viewers into the world of the Black Lagoon, proving its lasting appeal across formats. So while films like Avatar helped to repopularise 3D technology, the golden era of 3D was between 1952 and 1954. So on that note, Creature from the Black Lagoon came out when the hype over 3D films was starting to fizzle out, but it was still advertised with the gimmick. There were several ads for the movie boasting 3D terror, as well as being the first underwater 3D film. Now, I actually own the 3D version that came with the Universal Monsters box set, the Blu-ray set, and I still happen to have my own 3D TV set that I bought about 14 years ago, and along with It Came From Outer Space, I watch it at least once a year. I absolutely adore both films so much. Though I must admit I do worry about what will happen when this TV breaks down, because you just can't find these 3D sets anymore. They've completely fizzled out. Number 3. Unforgettable creature design. The Gillman's design by Melissa Patrick and Bud Westmore is still celebrated as one of the greatest monster designs in horror cinema. With sleek scaly skin, fish-like lifeless eyes and an otherworldly amphibious anatomy, the Gillman was both terrifying and oddly sympathetic. This complex, meticulously crafted design lets the creature come alive and remain a benchmark in monster makeup and costume artistry. It has since inspired countless imitators but remains utterly unique. However, makeup artist Bud Westmore received the main credit at the time, leading to controversy over the years regarding Millicent Patrick and her uncredited contributions to the iconic look. Number 2. A powerful environmental message. So, Creature from the Black Lagoon was way ahead of its time in presenting a story that still resonates with environmental themes. The creature, the last of its kind, is forced to defend its home and its way of life against human interference. This ecological narrative reflects concerns about habitat destruction, species endangerment, and human impact on nature, a theme that definitely still feels relevant today. In this way, the film very cleverly challenges viewers to consider the consequences of humans' intrusion in the natural world. But steady on there, before we go any further and reveal my number one reason why I love this film so dearly, let me give you a few amazing facts that you probably didn't know about Creature from the Black Lagoon. So, on that note, let's go. Did you know there were dual performers for the creature? It's true, the Gillman was portrayed by two actors. Riku Browning handled all those underwater scenes, while Ben Chapman performed on land. This division allowed Browning, who was an experienced swimmer, to navigate the underwater scenes with skill and create the creature's haunting, graceful movements. Chapman's towering physique conveyed the creature's intimidating, hulking presence when he was on land. The Gillman suit was notoriously difficult to wear, especially for Chapman during those hot daytime shoots in the jungle heat. He reported that the thick rubber would trap heat, making it feel like a human pressure cooker. Browning also faced challenges underwater, reporting that the suit lacked air supply, forcing him to frequently swim up to the surface to breathe. Did you know that Julie Adams was injured on set? In one of the scenes when the creature was carrying an unconscious Kay through a cave, Ben Chapman accidentally scraped her head on the side of the set. Thankfully, her injury wasn't serious, so shooting was able to resume soon after the incident occurred. Did you know that it was inspired by a real-life Amazon legend? It's true, the idea for Creature from the Black Lagoon originated from a 1941 dinner party anecdote about a half-human, half-fish creature, which was supposedly sighted by locals in the Amazon. Producer William Allen was so intrigued by the legend, he developed a story around it, blending myth with science fiction to create the mysterious Gillman. Did you know it's never had a remake? There has been several attempts to remake Creature from the Black Lagoon over the years, but none have fully materialised. Here's a look at some of those notable remake projects and plans which have surfaced but often sunk to the bottom of the Black Lagoon over the decades. These include a John Landis and original director Jack Arnold project, who found they had creative differences, so the project was shelved. John Carpenter also had a version, but was probably shelved due to the initial box office failure of The Thing. Guillermo del Toro also had a remake on the cards, but he later scrapped it to instead develop his own project, The Shape of Water. Now, one of the latest rumours is James Wan muscling in. Will it come to fruition, or will it join the others on the scrap heap? Who knows, and maybe the success of Universal's Dark Universe theme parks might even breathe new life into the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Do you know how they created the iconic sound design for the creature? Well, the creature's roar is a chilling combination of various animal noises. Sound designer Charles F. Lendrum laid pig squeals, dog sounds, and slowed down recordings of an Australian bird called the lyrebird to create the Gillman's signature growl. And it's true to say that this haunting, unnatural sound remains unforgettable in monster movie lore. Right, I'm back. Now, The Creature from the Black Lagoon is one of those handful of movies that are what I call the perfect winter cosy. Or, you know, films that you can put on when it's lousy outside, and the film itself feels like a warm blanket wrapped around you. I even have this cool little bobblehead ornament that a friend bought me many years ago, and I particularly love the fossiled hand at the bottom. I also love the iconic poster and how colourful it is and how it depicts some of the action scenes from the movie. Right, without further ado, let's look at my number one reason why this film is just so awesome and being one of Universal's king of the monsters. So, are you ready? Okay, let's have it. Number one, the best and only original Universal monster. As the last of Universal's classic monsters, the Gilman stands out as a completely original creation. I mean, he's not based on any pre-existing folklore or novel like Dracula or Frankenstein or the Wolfman. This uniqueness gives The Creature from the Black Lagoon a special place in Universal's monster lineup. Many fans like me and critics argue that the Gilman is the most iconic monster of all, with a design that's both terrifying and oddly sympathetic, making it a timeless symbol of otherness, isolation and mystery. You know, he's actually terrifying in some aspects, and I've always been completely creeped out by that scene of him when the expedition team capture him in the cage. And it's just the way he lies there, immersed, motionless, with those fishy, lifeless eyes wide open. At the same time, he's tragic, a lonely figure battling against human invaders, and with echoes of the Beauty and the Beast fable, he falls hopelessly in love with a human woman who can't return his love. Now, digressing, of course, due to its 1950s sensibilities, Julie Adams' character Kay arguably doesn't get a say in any of this and often comes across as a damsel in distress. She's constantly carried away whilst unconscious, and to be fair to the poor Gilman, the humans are no better and constantly treat her like a possession, and she seems unable to make any decisions of her own because the men just make them for her.
Come on. Stay here, Kay. Let me find out what's going on.
What are you doing out there? Come on back! Lunch! You take it easy!
Going into unexplored territory with a woman. Hey, that wasn't a very smart thing to do.
I'm not afraid, David, and we've come this far.
Go on, Kay, you tell them. But hey, this was the 1950s. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed this glance at one of my all-time favourites, and I hope you can also raise a glass for 70 years of the Gilman. And he still looks as scaly and devilishly handsome as ever. So here's to the next 70 years. So thank you for watching this content which I have written, filmed and edited myself. If you did enjoy this work and you like my channel, I would be so grateful for a simple subscribe. That way you can tell me how much you appreciated this. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. See you later.